Well, 2015 has wound to a close, but before we launch into a new year of news and reviews, let's take a look back at the year that was.
Well, there were plenty of great cars released in 2015. The one that I thought was something special was the Porsche Cayman GT4. It has all of the greatness of the GT3 911, but is 100 grand less. So even at $190,000, it seems like a bargain.
For me, I don't think I could go past Mercedes AMG C63. This thing really is like a muscle car for the well-heeled. It'll revel on a track day, it's an absolute blast to take around an open road, but at the same time, it's a refined and comfortable luxury car.
For something special, I can't go past the new Mazda MX-5. It has everything you need and nothing you don't. Such a little sweetheart, and it just makes me want to go for a drive.
Something special for me was the Range Rover Sport SVR. Now it has all the space, comfort and practicality you expect from a modern luxury SUV, but at its heart is the same 5-litre supercharged V8 you find in a modern Jaguar. So the comfort of an SUV and the performance of a sports car. What's not to love?
As a daily driver, I think the best car released in 2015 was the Mercedes-Benz GLC 250. It combines all those great attributes that made the C-Class sedan our drive car of the year in 2014, but adds more practicality, more space and more flexibility in how it performs.
My daily driver is Holden's iconic SS Commodore Ute. Now this thing's always been at the pointy end of the list for me, but things have been turned up to 11 for 2015, mostly because of its updated engine, a 6.2 litre V8 with, for the first time, a decent exhaust note from the factory.
My dream car for 2015 is a little bit different. It's a stadium truck. I was lucky enough to ride shotgun with Robbie Gordon in one, and yeah, 650 horsepower, jump 3 stories and go anywhere. I've got to have one.
It may not be the first Ferrari that comes to mind, but the California T really is a livable car. I spent about a week in one earlier this year and I really loved just how flexible it is, in the fact that it is fantastic for a Sunday drive, but when you do give it the berries, it's got all that Ferrari performance as well.
The car that really caught my imagination was the Alfa Romeo 4C. This is a car I have waited my entire life for. A great Alfa Romeo. I'm a big fan of the brand, but for so long they've made pretty, average cars. This one though is really special. It is a proper mini supercar.
Porsche's 911 Carrera GTS represents the end of an era. It's the last of the iconic 911 line that you can buy with a naturally aspirated engine, manual transmission and rear-wheel drive. It's Porsche distilled to its essence.
Now, even though we get to drive hundreds of new cars every year, there are still those that surprise us, and for me, that car was the Ford Everest. It is the latest in these ute-based SUVs, and while most of them are still pretty rugged and agricultural, the Everest's really surprised by being a modern, comfortable, luxurious SUV that you could be just as comfortable driving to the shops as you could into the outback.
My biggest surprise for the year was the Tesla P85D. We know here at Drive that it's a good car, but the real surprise is the way that it accelerates. It does 0 to 100 in 3 seconds flat. That's supercar territory, and it does it all silently, which is amazing.
My surprise was the Commodore SS. Holden had finally got rid of the mantra that the Commodore had to appeal to mums and dads, and literally turned it into the greatest muscle car Australia has ever produced.
2015 was a year of highs and lows, but there was no bigger disappointment than the Volkswagen emissions scandal. Volkswagen lied to customers, to environmental authorities and to the wider public about how efficient its cars were. It made promises that it couldn't keep, and we all deserve better.
Well, it was certainly the biggest news story and the biggest scandal in the automotive industry for the year, and potentially even the decade. The fact that Volkswagen took any cost to become the world's biggest car maker was evident in its diesel emissions cheating scandal. It was premeditative, manipulative, and not only let down its consumers, but its reputation amongst the industry.
Disappointingly, it's the Volvo XC90. Like a lot of people, I saw this car in the car shows, I saw it revealed, and was really looking forward to it arriving down under, but when it did, it was a little bit lackluster. It's got quite a choppy ride, and it lacked finesse, which is a shame given it's been about 10 years between new models.
At Drive, we're committed to bringing you all the latest news and reviews for 2016, but what I'm most looking forward to this year is the arrival of the Honda NSX. Now, I had a brief taste of the car in Japan last year, and it really moves the petrol-electric game on, and it brings some of the passion and pioneering elements that Honda has been renowned for in the past, but has become rather vanilla in the last couple of years.
The car I'm most looking forward to in 2015 is the Ford Focus RS. We already love the Ford Focus ST here, but they have turned it up to 11 with the RS, more power, all-wheel drive, and includes a drift mode. It sounds like it's going to be an absolute ball to drive. I can't wait.
This year I'm looking forward to driving the new Ford Mustang. Few machines have as much badge presence as Ford's iconic muscle car, but you can forget about the EcoBoost version, it's got to be the V8.